everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be yet another beauty break, and by beauty break I mean a break from beauty, a little something else. Sometimes it's a tag or maybe like a rant, but this time it's going to be something new that I've been saying I wanted to start, and this is going to be story time, and I figured that would be kind of fun, something different once in a while. Anyway, it's not going to be like once a week or every week or anything, but I do have some stories. I need to get some stuff off my chest. So I'm going to start today with a couple of stories. We'll call them short stories. Okay, so we'll start with the oldest story, and that's when I was around 7, maybe 6, probably 7. So I was the kid that walked around with constant candy in her hands all the time, and it was always something acidic because we would go to Mexico all the time, and I would get like all those salt lime candies and powders, and it was bad. So that kind of probably fucked up one of my teeth, and it was getting loose, but it was loose for the longest, and my grandma was finally like, okay, I'm gonna take you to go get it pulled out. Not something a child wants to hear. So we go, and this is why I don't do hospitals or dentists. Or they take me to the back and they're gonna numb my gums, and I'm hoping it's like, I don't know if I knew laughing gas existed or anything like that. I don't even know if they give those to children, but in my case it was a shot. And it was like a huge needle. And I remember they went in there and they gave me about 3 shots. And I was crying, and they had to hold me down as usual because I did not like needles. They always had to hold me down no matter what. It was finished, it was done, and they're like, okay, a few minutes, tell us if you're ready. I'm never gonna tell you I'm ready. No. Oh, I'm sitting there, and even though I didn't feel ready, I didn't know if I was. It was like my first time. I didn't know what being numb felt like. The doctor's like, so you ready? I'm like, no. Yeah, you are. It's time. So they go and they lay me down on the chair, and they start pulling. And they start pulling, and I start kicking, and I start screaming. And I think there is like, I know my grandma was holding me down, maybe a nurse or two. And it was like torture to a child. I don't know what everyone heard, but I felt every centimeter being pulled out of my gums, and that shit hurt like hell, and I was done. Like, that is probably the last time I've ever had to get something pulled out, thank goodness. But that was like the most horrible experience ever with a dentist that I have ever had, and it felt ugly, and I felt underestimated because I wasn't ready. Nothing about that shot numbed me. Not fun, not cool. So, I grew up getting sick all the time, and it was always having to do with my tonsils. They were always swelling up, and they were like, we're gonna take them out, and that never happened. But I was always sick from my tonsils. They were always swelling. My thing was, I already kind of expected that I was gonna get a shot, and it was never really a shot they were giving me, but that's what I would call it. They were just drawing blood to test it. So when they would draw blood, like, I would freak out. Like, before every time I knew that I was gonna get blood drawn, I would escape to the bathroom. And I would sit on the stall, and I would pray, and I would cry, and I would pray, and I would cry until they came looking for me, because I was MIA for so long. And when they come looking for me, I already know that it is time. It is time for the walk. Well, for a long time, I had to sit on my grandma's lap and look away and just cry and scream bloody hell because they're drawing blood. And yeah, you wouldn't think, right? One day, this was an actual shot. They weren't drawing blood. Something was different about this. I had to lay down on my stomach. And this time they were giving me a shot on my ass. And I did not like that at all. I couldn't see what was happening. So I had a major freak out, and I kicked and screamed, and my grandma went as far as to smack me on the ass in front of the nurses and the doctor, and she thought that was gonna settle me down. I did not feel a thing. My adrenaline was just, I was just ready to run because I wasn't in the mood. I don't know what was wrong with me. Why this fear of shots just came over me. I should have been used to them by then. It felt like forever that I was struggling. And there was like 2 nurses and my grandma holding me down and the doctors back there like trying to give me the shot. And it happened. It happened. And I was crying and I finally relaxed and I get up and I look back at the doctor and he's on the floor and his glasses fall off. Like they're falling off, like they're crooked hanging off of his face. And he has like this miserable look and he's just looking at me like and he's like on his ass. Like I kicked him down. And I don't even know how. How? He was a big guy too. And I was like, I think by then I was probably like 8, 7, I don't know. I was young and that happened, and I remember specifically, nobody ever has to tell me this story because I remember what I said. We walked out and my grandma's like, oh, you know, you went a little crazy in there. And I was like, you know what, Grandma? It didn't even hurt. And I don't even remember sounding like, I didn't mean to say that in a conniving way, but I was just proud of, like, I was just happy that it didn't hurt. And like, oops. And she was like, you see what you did back there? It was for nothing. So yeah, I kicked the doctor down, and I wonder if he's telling that story to other people about the little girl that kicked him down. So that is my quick 2 story time. I don't know, it's something new. I have a few more stories. That's just like something, I guess, from the past, and I had to get it off my chest because I think they're pretty funny and terrifying at the same time. Like, as a kid, you know, you kind of live and learn, and you just know that they're not going to take your word. They're not going to take your word. If you're not ready, you're ready. So yeah, that is my story time. I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will probably be making more. Yeah, so please like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye! Oh my god, this is so weird. I don't know why. Okay, alright, still my channel. Hey everyone! And thanks for watching. You're really cool.